am at Abu Dhabi airport again, which is great. Means I am going on my next trip, which is to Uzbekistan, and I picked up these flights super cheap. Return flight is $50. Like, who wouldn't go? That's Australian too. So I've got my carry-on, just a backpack, and I'm ready for the next adventure. Officially in Uzbekistan. I'm at Samarkand airport and I have gone through passport and border control, so yeah, I'm officially here. And now what I'm doing is waiting for a domestic flight to Tashkent. Now in hindsight, I would have just flown straight to Tashkent, maybe into Tashkent out of Samarkand, but I was going to get a train as I have high-speed rail, but unfortunately when I went to book the tickets, they were already sold out. So they sell out really, really fast. They open about 45 days prior to departure. So, but yeah, so it's still a grand adventure. It just unfortunately takes a few hours out of my sightseeing time for the day, but that's okay. I can't wait to get there. Waiting in Samarkand airport, and it's a really neat little airport, so it must be pretty new, and everything's really nice here. Now I was lucky enough to score myself a business class ticket, and it's only because when I went to book it was an extra $1, so I thought for the $1 I can finally say that I've flown business class, even if it is just for a 50-minute flight. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like. Well, the business class customers get treated like rock stars. They get their own private bus to the aeroplane, and then you get to walk across the tarmac while everyone's already boarded and looking out the window. It was super fun, really enjoyed it. If I had money, I would probably fly business class all the time, but I don't. Tashkent now, and I've just landed, and this is the domestic terminal, and yeah, so I'm going to go and grab like a Yandex, which is like an Uber, and head to the closest metro, which is Tashkent Metro, and it's meant to be one of the really pretty ones, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. The metro, the Tashkent Metro, and the metro is here are meant to be just absolutely incredible and stunning. So I'm actually really looking forward to going down and seeing what it looks like. So I'm in the city of Tashkent, and I have made my way to the metro system because I'm here to hop around and see a couple of these stations. Oops, they're just absolutely beautiful. This one's the cosmonaut one, and it is space themed, and it's just, oh, the details are amazing. Excited about this. I am staying at Hotel Uzbekistan tonight, so it is meant to have hard beds, but that's okay. It's just one night, but look, it's look at that architecture, Soviet. Oh, so good, so awesome. My hotel room, 1002, so quite high up, and it's really lovely, and I just wanted to come in and drop my bag off. There's still plenty of light out there, so I'm going to head back out. but I just want to drop my bag off because it is a bit heavy carrying a backpack around. But look at this amazing like desk with the aircon building. It's ingenious, right? Like space saving and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gorgeous, this hotel. Foyer is beautiful, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great stay. The light doesn't go, and hopefully the traffic noise isn't too loud, but I am heading to the television tower, so I'll be going to have a look at that. So it looks beautiful, so good. Made it just in time. Hopefully they'll let me in. There's about half an hour till it closes, but here it is. Yeah, it's very cool. It's really nicely designed. So the observation deck at the top of the tower really isn't all that big, so luckily the crowds were low this night. You can walk around the entire observation deck in around about a minute. It doesn't take long, but it is fun to stop along the way and look out each window and just to see what you can find while you're up there. One thing to look out for is amazing minarets, because you can see them standing proud above all the other buildings in the city. Look at that sunset. Oh my goodness. Isn't it just beautiful? I've seen some beautiful sunsets, but this one really seems to take the cake. It's gorgeous. It's the morning, and I have to admit the bed wasn't that hard. I slept really well, and I woke up really fresh well before the alarm, and I've had some breakfast. It was really delicious. There was this bean and rice dish, and really good, great way to start the day. And so now I'm just packing up the rest of my things. I'm going to leave my bag at reception so I don't have to carry it on my back all day. It is a bit heavy with all my clothes in it, and I think first on my agenda we'll be going to visit some of the museums. I do love a good museum, and then I think it puts you in a good stead for the rest of the holiday, so things make a little bit more sense after you go to a museum sometimes. So yeah, I'll finish packing and get out of here and start the day. across the road from the hotel, there's a hotel, and this is Amir Temur Park, and that is a massive statue of Amir Temur. Now he is a conqueror, and he did start the Timurid Empire. So yeah, and then I will be heading off to the museum. I think it's Museum of the Temurids. Yeah, and another one, but yeah, it's just beautiful and green. We need to take a moment just to appreciate how beautiful this building is from the outside, and it is the Museum of the Temurids. Yeah, so I cannot wait to get inside to see what it's like in there and to learn a little bit more of the history. It's going to be great. This is incredible. Now, when you do come in here, you will need to pay extra if you want to use a phone for photos and things like that. So, yeah, just pay the money. You know, it's a couple dollars, and it's worth it because look at this, and I'll be able to have this memory forever now. Awesome. So when I said Amir Temur had a huge empire, he really did have a huge empire. So this is Muscat here, and so that's Iranian. So this would be all Iraq, Iran. Oh, it's taking in. I mean, there's Tashkent up there, so it's still all modern day Uzbekistan, but also include these other places. And that's also going over to Turkey. So yeah, huge, massive empire. walking to the other museum now, and I've found this really cool blocked off street where it's got all these little stalls, and it's just really cute. And I just could imagine what this would look like at night with all the lights on. And over here there were some table tennis tables as well, so really awesome. Anyway, what I wanted to say was, I know this is going to sound a bit silly to some people, but recently I listened to a podcast on the Silk Road, and it really interested me that, you know, I always assume that, say you're in Xi'an and you've got some silk to sell, you would load up your caravan and you'd take it all the way to, say, Tashkent, for instance, all the way. But that's not really how it worked at all. There were little places along the way that you would trade at. So you might go from, say, Xi'an to Urumqi, anyway, or, you know, maybe somewhere else, and then so you'd go little bits, just trading along the way rather than one big fell swoop from one end to the other. So look, I know it's probably intuitive for some people, but I guess I'd never really given it that much thought before, and so yeah. Anyway, so it was an interesting fact that I'd share. I've just walked from the State Museum of the Temurids, and I'm now at the State Museum of Uzbekistan, and it's another gorgeous building, different style. It's more of that Soviet era type style, but it is stunning, and I can't wait to get inside. Hopefully I'll learn some things. The only thing I found a little bit disappointing with the State Museum of the Temurids was there were a lot of beautiful things on display, but there wasn't a lot of information about them. So and it could be that there just isn't a lot of information on them, but it would have been really great to learn just a little bit more of the people, a little bit more about the culture and the time in which the Temurids lived. And yeah, but let's get in here and see what this one's like. extra if you want to take photos and videos, which is fine. Again, it's fine. I think it might be, I don't know, maybe 60,000 song. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that this museum has some really great, interesting descriptions of things, so you can read along and learn a little bit more about the country and how it's developed, and yeah, and it's pretty awesome. Like, it's actually really, really well done. So yeah, glad I made the trek. This is really super amazing. I really love seeing fragments of ruins, but how amazing is it to see it kind of reconstructed, just so you kind of know a little bit what it would have looked like. Yeah, awesome. I was just heading from the museum to the metro, and I came across this amazing fountain, and I've just forgotten what it's called. I think it's something like that. Yeah, and I just thought I'd stop over and have a bit of a look. It's really cool, and I guess it's where you can cool down on a hot day. It is a hot day today. It's actually beautiful weather and sunny. But yeah, so gorgeous. I've noticed that a lot of the parks do have fountains, so it must be just a bit of a thing to put fountains in, which is great. I love them. It cools everything down and it's really nice. Figured that I would also walk across the water, the pond. It is so refreshing and so cool. Oh, it's just really, really lovely. And it's also really slippery, so I've got to be really careful. Independence Square, and yeah, it's a park with a fountain, and through that way there is a monument, but it's all blocked off at the moment, so I'm not quite sure if that's because of maintenance or whatever activities, but yeah, you can't go and see it, unfortunately. But again, the coolness that comes off these fountains are incredible. The park's beautiful and green again. Flowers are in blossom. It's really spectacular. But yeah, now I'm going to hit the metro up and probably go to Chorsu Bazaar. Chorsu Bazaar. So I'm looking forward to that. way to Chorsu Bazaar, and I'm about to go in and see what's in there. It's pretty easy to get to just on the metro. But what you'll find is around Chorsu Bazaar is there's a whole bunch of market stalls, and so you will find it. It just takes a little bit to maybe find it in amongst all the market stalls, but yeah, it's here. I'm gonna go in and have a look, see what it's all about. Made it to the Hazrati Imam Complex, and as you can see, it's got stunning Uzbek architecture. Now, here there are mosques and, as far as I'm aware, museums and some madrasas. So I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to going in and having a look. So I started walking towards those buildings over there, and now I turned the corner, and and then there's this as well. Like, come on. How many amazing things can we just put together? Oh, this is going to be awesome. That one looks like it's under construction, but even still, these are just stunning buildings. To wait for some of the other women to come out so I can get an abaya to wear, so you can dress appropriately to enter a mosque. So, but while I'm waiting, this is the inside of this complex, this basic complex. I keep having no words for how beautiful and amazing everything is here. So yeah, I can't wait to see the inside. It's probably just as stunning as the outside. From the Hazrati Imam Complex, so it's a little bit of a walk, but the good thing about it is downhill, so that is great. And I have come to the planetary. I've come to the planetary, so I thought I'd have a look to see what that's all about. I'm on my way to the metro, so I thought I'd stop off along the way and just see another site. So yeah, hopefully this one's good. Terminal 3 for my flight through to Urgent. Not quite sure. Anyway, from there I will get a taxi over through to Kiva, where I will spend the next couple of days. Yeah, it's a small little airport. Has all the things you need, I guess. But yeah, so the flight's about an hour and a half. I'll get there quite late, about 9:30, no, 10 o'clock. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to going to bed because I'm exhausted. It's been a long day, but it's been a great day, a long day. The flight was diverted through to Newcastle due to an issue at Urgench Airport. However, we did end up arriving in Urgench about 3 hours late. You will find that you will get hassled by taxi drivers, so it might be worth it to get in contact with your hotel to organise a driver to pick you up. And that is Tashkent. I hope you enjoyed the video, and next up will be Kiva.